Millions of Americans are now living in cars due to a means to survive because obviously rents, home prices have all skyrocketed, even just the general cost of living. Yesterday's video was about the housing market, the housing crisis, about how bad the houses are compared to the money you're paying, compared to the wage you're receiving. It's just terrible.
Hey, if you're new here, I live in my car, and I get comments all the time that are like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. If you're homeless, just say that. And I just want to address that I chose this lifestyle. I chose it because I love to travel and see new things, and I have never, ever had a desire to settle down in one place. The line of work that I chose requires me to move around a lot, which is exactly what I want. So when I'm not working, I can live in here and travel as much as I want. And not having to pay rent or utilities is obviously a major plus to this lifestyle. So you don't need to worry about me or feel bad for me because I literally love my life.
But I don't know how these apartment complexes are justifying their rent prices. I have to renew my lease or move soon, and this apartment hunt is honestly extremely stressful. I'm even looking at apartments that I used to live at years ago, and the prices are even higher, and they're not even upgraded. They're the same kind of renter quality. Like, at least if you're going to increase the rent so dramatically, please make dramatic changes because it's not justified. This kind of ties into the economy right now and how prices are going up for literally everything, but income and salaries are not.
And for those of you who are new to my channel, because my channel has been growing expeditiously in the last 2 weeks, I also live in my car. It was a choice. I wasn't forced to. I had other options, but it's what made the most sense. And I chose to do it more specifically to save money, because living in my car has taught me a minimalistic lifestyle over just the past 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks I've been doing it. I've been doing it for about a month, almost a month, 3 to 4 weeks. It's taught me minimalism. I'm not addicted to video games because I can't play a video game. You know, I work out way more often. It's the reason I got back on YouTube. Now I can't do anything else, so what do? I spend my day working and making YouTube. And now I've gained 140 subscribers and 1,100 watch hours in just 3 weeks, not even a month. So I'm very close to getting my channel monetized thanks to me just living in my car, you know. On top of that, saving money, getting ready to travel. My first country, Vietnam. I have my passport coming in. It's getting delivered. I'm paying off all my debt. I actually don't have debt. All I really have left is my phone. I already paid off my car, credit cards, all that stuff last year. But
so many people are doing van life, or they're living in their cars or living in the back of their trucks, because who can afford 4K rent for one person? It's just not obtainable in this economy. It is absolutely ridiculous. You would think that they would be able to do something about it, but the thing is, these greedy landlords do not care. After COVID, that was their chance to raise rent, and they had no reason for raising it. They would do their little renovations and they would add an extra $400, $500 to the rent of a 1-bedroom apartment. When I left my apartment in South Carolina, I was paying $900. When I got in, it was $850, and then it changed to $900. That same apartment, as soon as I moved out and they did their renovations, I looked online and it was $1,350. Now, in some cities, $1,350 is not a lot, but for South Carolina, that was a lot of money for a 1-bedroom. Tell me, guys, what you think about this.
And that's what a lot of Americans are thinking is, why is getting into an apartment so high? No matter your area, because a lot of people will say, you know, about area, go to a cheaper area, but in those cheaper areas, guess what? The wages are lower. I've had people in my last video talk about, well, actually, if you just worked harder and you saved more money and invested, and I replied to his comment, right? And then he replied to my response saying, well, actually, I don't think, getting into a house has gotten harder. It's just people are less willing to do what they have to do and make the sacrifice. And what? Every statistic, every fucking number says it has gotten harder. That's that boomer mentality. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Me, I can't afford the boots. Like, you know, but millions of Americans are saying, why? Why is it so high? It's so expensive. And why are you so idiotic to think that it's just me? I don't want to work hard. It's because they don't want to accept responsibility for the economy that they created.
I'm broke and I live in my car. I have a full-time job at Jack in the Box and I just got off work. I'm really trying to get a studio, an apartment, something, but I only have $1,000 saved up and I can't find anything around that price. So I'm literally coming to terms that I'm going to be living in my car for the summer. I don't mind living in my car. I mind living in my car in the summer. I have maybe 1 month before summer gets super bad here in Arizona. So I'm going to try to save as much money as I can. And one of the things I'm going to do is try eating inside my car. I bought this little pot and I'm not going to be cooking anything crazy, but just things that are easy for me to cook. I do have a fridge now, so I can now cook sandwiches, maybe ramen, scrambled eggs. And I should also probably start eating a little bit healthy, but I've been craving this ramen for a very long time. And if my car ever gets super hot when cooking, my car's a convertible, so I'll just open the hood and let all of the smelly ramen come out through the top part. Well, now I'm gonna enjoy my ramen and watch TV and then go to sleep because I work tomorrow.
So we're a family of 5 and we live in an RV full time, and unfortunately this is the case for a lot of people with today's economy and inflation, and the cost of housing is just astronomical and it's causing a lot of people to financially struggle, which makes it surprising when I get so many hateful comments pretty much daily telling me that this is not appropriate for kids, pretty much child abuse. Or one comment said, if we can't financially provide for our children properly, we should have never had kids. Pretty sure she's deleted her whole thread now because hopefully she realized how idiotic that is, because God forbid you have children when you are doing well financially and hit hard times and start struggling. I guess you just should have never had children to begin with. I don't understand people. But anyways, those people don't pay your bills. So you do what's best for you. If you can't afford your rent and you can't afford your mortgage, then you do what you need to do to survive. And an RV is not the worst thing. It's honestly been so great for our family. It has freed us up financially, which has been amazing. And our family's closer together because of it. So please, if you're struggling, don't look at having to live in an RV is a bad thing, because yes, it's not a stick and brick house, but it has everything you need. And living simple is okay. We don't have to glorify having excessive amounts of things or space, because that's not a need, that's a privilege. So us living in an RV is helping us in the long run, as we're able now to really put back and save money to be able to hopefully one day purchase a house in cash and not have to have the weight of a mortgage over our head hanging all the time.
This lifestyle of living in your car, a lot of people like to look at it as like you're homeless. But living in my car, and I don't consider myself homeless, has taught me that, you know, what I never already thought that all homeless people were drug addicts or lazy people. But it's really just, it's a economic thing. It's an economic struggle. There's plenty of hardworking people who live in cars, tents, RVs, storage units with their families, multiple incomes. Just because the cost of living, you know, is so high. Maybe they got so much, you know, student debt that they decided to minimalize as much as possible to pay that off quick. Maybe they wanted to get a house by a certain age. So there's plenty of options for why people might choose to go homeless, which it isn't really homeless, it's just minimalistic living. Homeless is you're on the streets. You know, you're on the streets. If you're not on the street, you're not homeless. You got a roof over your head. Hey. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me down in the comments, have you ever had to live in your car? Do you know someone who has? And why was that the case? And enjoy the rest of the videos. Remember again, no matter what happens, as long as you're alive, life goes on.
I've been living in my car for over 70 days now, and I'm in a pickle. I ran out of food. I don't have any gas, so I'm kind of stranded in a parking lot. I've been here for around 4 days now, and I'm a little stressed, but I'm still making it work somehow. I'm trying everything in my character to just not go on the side of the road and beg for money, because I don't know, just something deep down in me is telling me that's not the way to do it. And then the hunger starts to kick in, and your tummy's just rumbling, and you're just like, man, you start to get really desperate. I'm fucking desperate to get food. I was like, man, I can see why people freaking go to stores and steal, but I don't steal.
The honest truth is that ever since I started car living, I've kind of never had a reason to stop. I always thought this was something I would do for a month and just get sick of it, just get tired, get bored, whatever. Honestly, I've had a great time. I've been everywhere. I've had so much fun. I've been able to make and save so much money along the way. I really just don't have a reason to stop. And I just look at the world and the country just around me. And yeah, I don't feel like paying a gut-wrenching amount for rent and being at the mercy of a landlord or, you know, a boss that could fire me and I could lose everything at any moment. I don't know. It works for me. I understand it might not be the case for everybody, but I really love this lifestyle.
Saved $140,000 in the last 3 years by living in an RV, and these are some of your frequently asked questions that I'm going to address. The first one is for those of you that have done the math. Yes, that equates to almost $4,000 a month in rent. No, I've never paid $4,000 a month in rent. However, I had a house and my mortgage was only around $2,200 a month, and I was like, there's absolutely no way in heck I'm going to pay twice my mortgage for rent. I've also always lived on private property where I either only paid utilities, or I'm currently living on a friend's property and I don't pay for electricity, water, or sewer because they have solar, they have a well, they have septic, and they didn't feel right charging me for something that they didn't even really have to pay for. Also, there are still good people in the world. As far as renovations on my RV, everything that you see, the countertops, the floors, the overhead lighting, the cabinets, all of that kind of stuff was stock from the manufacturer. All I did was replace like the furniture, the couches, the bar. I added some decor, I added some other lighting.
I'm 18 and I live inside my small car. Today's my day off. Come spend a day with me. I used to go to Planet Fitness to shower, but I ended up changing gyms. This was closer to my job. They offer a monthly locker, and as you guys know, my car is super small, and since having a locker, my car is a little bit more clean and organized. I get my daily chair massage and just kind of chill there because it's so hot outside. I wasn't really planning on going to the pool today, but a bunch of my coworkers invited me, including the guy that I went on a date on. And after being at the pool all freaking day, we went to go eat sushi, and they had like a really nice fruit bar. And I'm so happy that I have money saved up because I was literally like freaking broke. It just feels good to give myself these type of luxuries, even though for some people it's not a luxury. For me, it is. So I'm 36. I'm divorced, and last year I downsized from almost 4,000 square feet mini mansion to 84 square feet. I live in a van. I'm rich too. My net worth is over $5 million, and I'm not saying that to brag, and frankly I couldn't care less if you think it's tacky to talk about money on the internet to strangers. I'm sharing this so you'll be curious and want to know why I decided to downsize so drastically when I didn't need to. First, I didn't get rich because I got divorced. I got rich because I built and sold a successful online business. I worked my ass off and I got so burnt out I didn't recognize myself anymore. I even got committed against my will to 4 different mental hospitals in 2 years because the doctors don't know what burnout is. They just tell you it's a mental illness and give you a little pill, but it's all bullshit. Mental illness is a sign that something is out of alignment. Your brain and your body aren't balanced because you aren't living the way you're meant to live, which is happy, free, safe, and doing what you love. I'm so sick of our government lying to us and allowing big corporations like the drug companies to lie and steal from us, not just our money, but our lives. They're stealing our health and our vibrancy. The food's fucking poison. The water's fucking poison. The air is poisoned too, but it's not just poisoned, it's purposely poisoned. They take our money and we fork it over to them because we're afraid that if we don't, they will ruin our lives. But they're already ruining our lives. It's like the frog in a pot of water on the stove, and they do it so slowly with their pills and their food and all their other poisons posing as household necessities. We gotta wake up to what's happening because we're not prisoners to fear and lies. We're not meant to be that. We're meant to be free. We're meant to live in harmony with each other. We're meant to thrive and have fun every single day. That's who we are. We're not
angry mobs protesting or killing each other. We're not cattle. We're not economic slaves. So that's why I downsized, because I realized that my house was holding me hostage. It was keeping me prisoner to the belief that I needed to stay in one place forever in a gigantic house that's nicer than most luxury hotels and work really, really, really hard so I could pay for it and pay a huge amount of taxes as well. Does that sound like freedom to you?
I am homeless living here in my car, even though I work often 50 to 60 hours every single week by doing food deliveries and grocery deliveries. I walk dogs and I pick up other gig work. It just isn't enough to afford rent, which is now $1,800 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. And this is for most of America, and some states are even higher than that. So this is where I live. This is my little home, and lately I have really been trying to focus on my health, and I've been buying these little salads here at Costco. I found them for a 4-pack for about $15. They come out to being a little less than $4 a salad, and they are delicious. Chicken, they come with everything. All of the ingredients are included. The chicken, the greens, the dressing, super good. I really like them. I think they're a good value. The deliveries have been really slow the past few weeks. I think people are just kind of broke with back to school and end of summer. You know, people spend a lot of money taking summer vacations, but I'm still being persistent, going out every day and trying my best. And today was a little bit better. The orders have been coming in. I'm hoping this weekend will be better.